Hi, my name is Dan Augusto for GearWire.com. We're here checking out the Epiphone Valve Junior. This is the combo version of the amp. There's also just the head version. This is a 5-watt all-tube Class A design. It has one 12AX7 in the preamp and one EL84 as a power amp. And you can switch those out. Some people are using a 12AT7 in the preamp spot to sort of smooth out the sound a little bit. Things like that. A lot of people are getting into modding these things in that way. So anyway, as you can see, it's a pretty solid design. It's a vented back, which means that it's not entirely closed. There's grills on the back, and of course we have a wicker front. That's sort of a design element. If we look at the panel, most important part, we see we just got the input, volume, and the power. That's it. There's no gain control, there's no EQ, and there's no standby. That's a little thing that they left off, which I think would have been cool, especially if you're using this on stage. In a studio, you don't want the power tubes passing sound the whole time, heating up beyond their, where they're meant to stay heated. So anyway, of course it's a combo version, like I said. So it has an 8-inch speaker in, and let's see how it sounds. We got the volume about 9 o'clock, or about a quarter of the way up or so. So let's hear how this sounds. And this is, by the way, the Gibson historic custom Les Paul Black Beauty, and I have it on the rhythm pickup right now. All right, so we got a nice tube tone. Sounds to me a little boxy, and that's probably because of the 8-inch speaker. I personally would prefer the head version of this because then you can put it through different speakers. But this is what we have right now. The size, and I think, of course, the size of the speaker, the size of a cabinet along with the size of the speaker makes it sound just a little boxy for me. But it sounds like a nice small amp. So let's turn up the volume. That's pretty much the only choice we have. I'm going to turn it up to about 10:30 or 11. So it starts to distort a bit, and fairly early. It's pretty loud, but I can still comfortably sit next to it. So let's turn it up a little higher, just past 1 o'clock or so. So we got a nice amount of sustain. Let's see how that sounds on our treble pickup. So it's a good amount of sustain, a bit more distortion. Let's turn it up even higher. We can hear there's some noise. Not sure, that could be because of radio frequencies in our area and amp not having enough shielding. It could be for a variety of reasons. These are humbucking pickups, so it's probably not coming from the guitar. Okay, so there's a good amount of distortion. It feels like speaker distortion to me, like the amp is breaking up the speaker, but it could also be a good amount of preamp distortion as well. So we can see we're pretty limited to what kind of tones we got out of here. We pretty much only have the options that you know, from what a guitar gives us as far as the different pickups and, you know, how loud we go. It got quite a bit louder when we turned it up a bit. We also got a lot of noise. But what I'd like to try is throwing in a distortion pedal. That's probably how most people are going to get their different distortion tones out of here. You could use the EQ pedal too as well, but distortion pedals are definitely more common. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the Boss DS1 distortion. Okay, so now I have the DS1 plugged in. Let's just quickly listen to how we're doing. We're just about at 10 o'clock on the volume. All right, I'm going to bring in the distortion pedal. We got about midnight on tone, midnight on level, and about, let's see, almost 3 o'clock on the distortion. All right, so we can get a nice amount of distortion there. It's still lending a good amount of color to the sound. It feels kind of washy, or also could be described less pejoratively as just an open sound, warm tube sound. The speaker's moving a lot. You can hear that there is a bit of speaker distortion. So it's a great way to get that kind of overly distorted sound without being too loud. I'm sitting next to the amp, I'm not wearing earplugs, but it's still a comfortable volume for me to sit around and listen to. And of course, we're getting the tone that we are, what you're hearing out of these two microphones, which is the SM57. It's about an inch and a half from the Gorilla Cloth, and an AKG 414, and that's the XL2 version. It's in cardioid pattern. That's about 2 feet from the speaker. So that's the Epiphone Valve Junior, and thanks for checking it out here at GearWire.com.